Good evening, everybody. Michael Soothing here. I'm staying at a clandestine hotel location because I want to go fishing tomorrow, halfway between my destination and my point of origin, namely the Shasta Lake area. So I got the free paper, USA Today, that you get here, weekend edition. What is that that's coming out of there? Something is broken, a little broken blue ball with lots of little digital bits coming out. Anyway, I thought I don't have a tripod. I'm using my piled up pillow tripod, so that may cause you to be even more rested or restful or peaceful than usual, because you in the camera there are resting on some soft pillows right now. All right, so let's see what's in the USA Today and just do a quick read. This is a bad story. 500 million. Can you hear those trucks going by on Highway 5? I'm curious. I won't know until editing. 500 million Yahoo accounts were breached. Wow. Do you have Yahoo Mail? I do. Let's see what happened. Company suspects a foreign power is behind this largest data violation. Are those evil Ruskies at it again? Information from at least 500 million Yahoo accounts was stolen from the company in 2014. How come we're just hearing about this now, 2 years later? The company said Thursday, indicating it believes a state-sponsored actor, and they don't mean Alec Baldwin, was behind the hack. The theft may have included names, email addresses, telephone numbers, dates of birth. I hope they don't know how old I am now. And encrypted or unencrypted security questions and sexual habits. Okay, it didn't have that last one. I just made that up. So stop worrying, you Yahoo account holders. Even in an internet-dependent population accustomed to regular occurrence of massive data breach, the size of this one, thought to be the largest ever in terms of user accounts, is attention-grabbing. You know, I used to have like 4 or 5 Yahoo email accounts, but I don't think any of them are active anymore. But they were back in 2014, at least one of them was. But I wasn't using it for financial transactions or anything, just for commenting on financial discussion boards. So they can hack my opinion on that all they want, okay? So, but if you have a Yahoo account that was linked to something financial back in 2014, take some precautions. Let's see what they say. We take these types of breaches very seriously. Okay, what good does that do anyone now? Okay, we will find out who is responsible. Claims surfaced in early August that a hacker using the name Peace, that's ironic because the folks who were hacked do not feel peaceful now at this moment, was trying to sell personal information of Yahoo account users on the dark web. That's kind of like the evil internet, the dark web. Let's see what it says about the dark web. Where does this continue? A black market of thousands of secret websites. Yahoo, which says about 1 billion people globally engage with one of its properties each month, was notifying potentially affected users, blah, blah, blah. They also own the photo sharing site Flickr and the blogging site Tumblr, but no Tumblr accounts were affected. Okay, so, yeah, because stealing people's photos that are already public, no money in that, I would say. Okay, Guard and Highway Patrol call to help. Oh, that's in downtown Charlotte, where they're having a riot. Let's see. Feds eye online buying of bomb components. Okay, online buying of bomb components. Let's see what this says. The increasingly common practice of purchasing materials to make explosives online under scrutiny by the federal authorities. Let's see here. Federal prosecutors allege that the lone suspect in the bombings, these were the recent New York and New Jersey bombings of the last week. The suspect's name, Ahmad Rahami, shopped on eBay beginning in June and as recently as August for ball bearings, igniters, circuit boards, and other things. Pressure cooker explosion devices. eBay is cooperating, okay. You know, those aren't the kinds of things you would think of as bomb devices, and so I don't know how they can really, maybe they can use advanced software algorithms to see if one person is buying all the different components that would make a bomb. That should be an easy thing to set up, I would think. You know, USA Today, one interesting thing they do is they do a little summary of news from each of all of the states. A little blurb about what's going on in each state. One news tidbit from all of them. So let's see if I like to read like the states where I have lived or worked. You know, California, Texas, places like that. Let's see. Alabama, a 13-year-old was arrested in connection with a clown prank. Arrested for a clown prank? The teen was accused of posting, "Hey Dauphin, I'm coming for you on Tuesday. Crazo the clown." Posted it on social media. The incident was part of a string of clown pranks. Who knew you could be arrested for that in this day and age? It's okay if you blow people up with bombs. They won't notice in advance that you're doing it. But if you put on a clown suit and make threats, and you're a 14-year-old, look out, okay? Let's see. Arizona. Fabian Chevra, operations manager for Cactus Corn, created the inaugural Sriracha Festival. That's boring. Let's see. California. Let's see what's happening in my soon-to-be no longer home state when I move to Oregon. The Palos Verdes, California. The city issued a permit to destroy the illegal stone and wood shelter being used by the Bay Boys, a gang which is accused of using violence and intimidation to prevent people from using the surfing spot, the LA Times reported. Wow, even the good old friendly beach boy culture has gone down the tubes, you know. So instead of singing California Girls and things like that, now the surfers, they, you know, don't allow anyone onto their wave turf without a fight and intimidation. Let's see, Colorado. Somebody was accused of gross mismanagement. The VA department. Hundreds of millions of dollars were wasted on a new Denver area VA hospital that has been delayed by years. Now the construction is expected to cost nearly $1.7 billion, triple the 2014 estimate. Well, that's what happens when the federal government gets involved in a project. It costs 10 times as much because of all the bureaucracy and rules and red tape. Okay? What else is going on? Georgia. Somebody died on a highway. Okay. Hawaii. Anything going on there? Nothing very exciting. Oh, there must be something that's a little bit interesting in here. An apartment fire. That's from Kansas. You can see how slow a news day it was there. Police arrested. Oh, the guy stabbed a 9-year-old girl. I don't want to read that one. Oh, here's one. Maine. You don't hear from the state of Maine much when it comes to important news. This is no exception. A missing 18-month-old boy was returned to his family when game warden Jim Fahey found him sleeping in a tire about a half-mile from his home. He appeared to be in good health, so it's a runaway 18-month-old. How does an 18-month-old run away and climb into it? Okay. There must be something going on. New Jersey. Let's see what the Jersey news is. The Archdiocese of Newark says the world's oldest Catholic bishop has died. How old was he? The Reverend Peter Garrity died Tuesday at St. Joseph's for the elderly. He was 104 years old. Wow. And that's pretty good. I'd like to know what his diet and exercise regimen was. You know, New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico. 2 orphan bear cubs arrived in the care of veterinarian Kathleen Ramsey in mid-June. They were dehydrated and weighed little more than human infants at 8 and 12 pounds respectively. Ramsey has prepared them for release back into the wild in late October or November, after the height of the hunting season has passed. Who would shoot a cute little bear cub anyway? I don't think. And what are bears doing in New Mexico? Isn't that a big desert state? I didn't even know bears live there, so nobody should be shooting any if they can manage to survive there. Okay, let's see here. New York. Somebody used a recipe from George Washington when he was 25 to make a colonial ale brew. It will be served at the hospitality tent. Gee, I think it would only be patriotic if I went there and drank a few of those, but it is 3,000 miles away, so maybe I'll skip that. What else? A 56-year-old woman in Ohio suspected of overdosing in her pickup truck with her baby grandson in the back seat. Bad grandma. Bad grandma. Okay. Oklahoma. No, boring. Oregon, my future state of residence. Eugene, Oregon. The Register Guard reported police have issued their first unruly gathering citation of the fall last weekend. 10 citations were issued after a party became too noisy. Well, you know we like our peace and quiet in Oregon, right? What was that? Oh, the AC just kicked on. I hope it will be a fairly mellow background noise and won't disturb you too much. I think that's gonna be really loud. I'm gonna go turn it down, okay? I'll be right back after I turn that thing off. Pardon the interruption. I think the air will go off in a second. There it goes. Now it's off. Okay, how about Pennsylvania? A woman gave birth to identical triplets. Wow, that strikes terror into my heart because I know how much work it is to raise a baby. Rhode Island. Oh, let's skip down. Oh, South Carolina. Charleston. Work is getting underway on a $5 million sea turtle hospital at South Carolina Aquarium. Wow, a sea turtle hospital. Do you think sea turtles are covered by Obamacare? I hope so, because I don't think they have very much income, the sea turtles. The new hospital, the new exhibit, will allow aquarium visitors to see how sea turtles are cared for. I don't know just how interesting that would be, but I'd rather see one swimming in the wild, like in Hawaii. There you can go out and snorkel and see them swimming. South Dakota. One of 3 men facing federal charges over skimmers planted on gas pumps admitted he was involved in the scam. Oh, this is boring. Let's see. Vermont. A toddler survived a 4-story fall from an apartment building. I hope Michael Jackson wasn't involved, but I don't think he could be involved, could he? Let's see. I don't see anything else very interesting amongst all of the states. So, let's see, maybe we should move on to the next page of the paper. What comes next? Oh no, it's all politics. I don't want to read about politics. I've had enough of politics. Although I will be watching the debate on Monday night, I'll have you know. That will be one of the most interesting debates in decades, I'm imagining. But meanwhile, Samsung is in a rush to snuff fallout from the Galaxy Note 7. What happened to the Galaxy? The smartphones were recalled because their batteries could ignite and blow up in your pocket, no less. You wouldn't want that to happen unless a bad guy stole your phone. Tesla sues Michigan over car sales ban. Sorry about putting the candidates' mugs on my video. I don't really want them. Where is the story I'm trying to show you? Is it over here? It's over here. Tesla sues Michigan over car sales ban. Let's see what this is. Oh, you know what? because Detroit is the conventional auto capital of the country, and so I think they're not allowing Tesla to do one of their franchises there because they don't use showrooms, not conventional showrooms. So, and they don't like those fancy electric cars, although they have their own, they're marketing now, GM and others. The license was denied because state law explicitly requires a dealer to have a bona fide contract with an auto manufacturer to sell its vehicles. Tesla has their own model they use, where they don't use franchise dealers. Tesla's based in Palo Alto, which is where I worked in rocket science before my recent retirement. A breakfast happy meal, oh happy day, it says here. What's this about? McDonald's is going to be testing an all-day option with an egg muffin, which is more commonly known as a McMuffin, I think. So now you can get that thing all day long. Some pint-sized McDonald's fans will be happier starting Monday. The all-day breakfast offering might be rolled out nationally. The kid-focused breakfast items will be available they're only doing it for kids? How strange. Maybe adults will start buying Happy Meals at breakfast time or breakfast Happy Meal later in the day. Okay. Let's see. The spunky Nissan Leaf is a contender, it says here. Spunky Nissan Leaf. See, we went from the Tesla, which is the very upscale, prestigious electric car, to this little Nissan Leaf, which they're saying is a good contender. But I can tell you, although I haven't driven one, I probably shouldn't have this prejudice, but every driver I've ever seen in one is a terrible driver. That's generalizing, isn't it? The range is only 106 miles. I read a lot of auto magazines and auto reviews, and the Nissan Leaf was described by one reviewer as a clawfoot bathtub on wheels, an upside-down clawfoot bathtub on wheels, because the handling is so bad and clunky. And they went on to say other disparaging things about it. So that kind of turned me off to the idea of the Leaf as a viable contender in the electric car market. The range is limited. It has no power. It can cost up to $37,000. It handles like crap. Okay, that's not exactly what the article says, but you get the idea. Wow, it only goes 84 miles on a full charge. Not good. Why are they calling it a contender? I would say it's only a contender for a very foolish consumer who doesn't understand exactly what they're getting and wants to look like they're really green in their habits so that they will personally solve global warming. Hey Siri, you still have a lot of work to do, it says here. You know what? I think they're right, because I tried Siri on my phone recently and it was making some odd mistakes. Although it did answer some of my questions accurately. I was asking things like, you know, what's the distance in kilometers, from here to Juneau, Alaska? And it would tell me, what's the distance to Copenhagen, Denmark? And it would tell me things like that. So, um, maybe it's good for something. I was asking it some definitions, and sometimes it didn't understand me very well. I think that Siri is a little behind the times when it comes to understanding ASMR, because I asked Siri about it and she didn't know. So she's not very soothing. What else is going on here? On the business page, election years are usually bullish. But another article said if there's a surprise in the election, that could cause a big crash in the markets. I wonder what kind of surprise they might be thinking about when they say that. I think I know. Here is the life section. Ride India's toy train. It does look small. Look at the size of the guy compared to the locomotive. They're pretty small train. Let's see what this says. A narrow gauge Himalayan queen. I'll bet that's kind of an interesting ride. Don't you think so? Uh-oh. I see some celebrity star gossip here. Abuse allegation. Maybe at the center of a split between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Let's see what the abuse allegation is. She's really tough. Do you think she was beating up poor Brad? Because I've seen her in some films where she was obviously well trained in martial arts. Suppose you're divorcing and seeking sole custody of your kids. Those are nasty situations. Suppose your spouse is accused of child abuse. Who do you think is in the better negotiating position? When the divorce lawyers sit down, even non-lawyers can see the answer is obvious. This hypothetical situation may not be so hypothetical in the pending divorce of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. For a very sexy couple, I think this is going to be a very unsexy divorce, says family law attorney Jacqueline Newman, partner at Berkman, Boetker, Newman, Rod in New York. Do New York law firms, is it required they have 4 names in their title? Because that seems to be the only place where this happens. What's the latest? Okay, who's accusing who of what? Let's find out. TMZ landed a story asserting that Pitt, 52, is under investigation by authorities in Los Angeles for allegedly getting verbally and physically abusive with his children while in the air on a private jet and continuing on the tarmac after landing in Minnesota on September 14th. The timing has caused speculation that it precipitated the couple's separation the next day, and Jolie filing for divorce on Monday, in which she took the relatively rare step of seeking sole physical custody. A source close to Pitt, who was not authorized to speak publicly, told USA Today that Pitt is taking this matter very seriously and fully cooperating. The claims are greatly exaggerated or fabricated. That means there must be something to it, or they wouldn't have said greatly exaggerated. They would have completely denied it. but he will do whatever is best for his kids. Yeah, that makes me sad because Brad Pitt was one of my favorite actors in A River Runs Through It. That film directed by Robert Redford, that very excellent film. What do authorities say? Some things were confirmed by the LAPD. Okay, they don't want to talk about it. What else? These Magnificent Seven. Okay, it's a remake of the Magnificent Seven ride. Didn't that movie have Yul Brynner in it and a couple other famous guys from that era? Here's the cast of the new remake. The Magnificent Seven have shattered the mold. I think that Denzel Washington plays the lead role. He also has his former co-star from Training Day, Ethan Hawke, which is in the middle there someplace. See? Ethan Hawke. That was a pretty good film. As one of my subbies said, I don't think I've seen any Denzel Washington films that I didn't like. They've all been pretty good. So maybe this one will be good also. Top shelf whiskeys is what's on the. You think I'm making that up? Here's Mel Gibson with some of his kids. No, Mel Gibson. Brad Pitt. I guess I was thinking abuse for a second, and I think he was accused sometime. Something possessed Fox to try another remake of The Exorcist, it says here. A rather disturbing film. Evil invades the home of Angela, played by Gina Davis. We haven't seen her around in a long time, have we? Ever since that great 5-star Academy Award-winning film, Earth Girls Are Easy, okay, that she starred in. Okay, only kidding. I don't think it had any awards, although it did have one or two good costume moments in it. Flight delays in Phoenix. Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport plans to close one of its 3 runways. It's going to cause major flight delays, so I'm going to cancel my plans to go back and forth to Phoenix, Arizona. As if I'd want to. Okay. I did used to go travel there for work when I was in the rocket science business. We had manufacturer there making bad diodes, so I had to go investigate them. I can't say any more than that because I'm sworn to silence. Here's the article about the train in India and a black and white shot showing more of it. What does it say? You know, my house in Oregon that I just spent a week at has a train track running close by, and about 9 p.m. or so at night, 9:30, this big train rumbles by and blows its whistle. And I love the sound of it, actually. It doesn't bother me. I find it very soothing, rather ASMR-ish, if I do say so. I'm thinking of taking my Tascam full fidelity, broad frequency range MP3 recorder over there and recording that train so I can play it over and over to sleep to at night. Not the train whistle part, of course. India's toy train is just the ticket for rail lovers, it says here. It has the look of Legos, but the feel of family. On the toy train from Shimla to Kalka, India, Anup Rawat and his family are on their way home to Delhi from Shimla. Is that like Shangri-La, you know? The capital of the northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. They decide to adopt a stranger from New York City. Are you traveling alone? Rawat asks as we board the toy train. I guess that's its nickname or something. And it goes on to talk about their experiences on the train, the cuisine. You know, if it's a really long trip, it doesn't look particularly comfortable. I'll show you the seating arrangement on the train. That doesn't look all that comfortable to me for a long train trip. Kind of narrow, hard back seats that face each other so that if you're sitting with someone you don't like, they're right in front of you for 16 hours, you know, facing you. That doesn't sound particularly soothing to me. In honor of punk rockers, somebody or other, I'm not interested, so I've already lost my train of thought. And I think that's just about going to wrap it up for tonight. Oh, we didn't get to the sports page. I just saw the Giants win a game in the 10th inning. The San Francisco Giants, who have sucked so badly the last few weeks, seem to be doing a little better, but they drew out the suspense this time and forced an extra inning before they would finish it off. Let's see. Something. The quarterback for the Redskins, I don't care about. I wonder if there's any NASCAR news in here. One of my subbies said, can you do another video on NASCAR like you did before? Because there are some interesting developments going on in the sport, and they've started, the chase, the final countdown, the pyramid of elimination, where drivers are eliminated each week from the chase to the championship. The last part of the season. I'll explain that to you all if I do another video on NASCAR, which I think would be a good idea. But I've just found an article. Was it the only one on NASCAR this week? It looks like it. There's a giant full-page ad for NASCAR in here. Charlotte, North Carolina. The Bank of America 500. See there? It's a good thing it's not called the Wells Fargo 500, because the Bank of Wells Fargo, it just was discovered this last week, opened tens of thousands, I think it was, accounts fraudulently and started charging their customers fees by opening all these different accounts that the customers never asked for, and then charging them a bunch of fees in order to fraudulently boost some phony profit margins so they could get their stock price higher. This is one of the downsides of capitalism, and I say this as an avowed free market conservative, but there are excesses in capitalism that must be severely punished, and this would be one of those excesses, wouldn't it? So, where were we? We were talking about NASCAR. Here we are. NASCAR reversal deserves praise. Officials own up to their mistake on unfair penalties. Was this the speeding penalty in the pit Let's find out. Sunday's Bad Boy Off-Road 300 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Bad Boy Off-Road 300. Let's see here. The second race of the chase for the Sprint Cup. Blah, blah, blah. 2 cars failed post-race inspection. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this, including the race winner, who was, I think, Truex Jr. Yeah, Martin Truex Jr., who won the race, and Jimmy Johnson, who finished 12th. It turns out NASCAR had just changed the rules and started throwing the book at these guys for some tiny meaningless infraction on inspection of their cars. But they realized their mistake, it looks like, and said, all right, we're going to back away from these rule changes because it's not fair to monkey with the championship chase races, by penalizing guys who've been working hard all season and saying, hey, you have a tiny speck of paint on your spoiler that might change the airflow a little bit, or whatever it was. So Johnson would have dropped from 8th in the standings with this penalty and suffered more than Truex for the exact same infraction. What was the infraction? Let's see if they say exactly what it was. There would have been many more weeks, the same infraction. I want to know what the violation was in detail. They're not going to tell us. They're just saying it's refreshing that NASCAR realized its mistake and backed off on this unfair rules change. Huffing and puffing. Usually the NASCAR decisions they get intransigent and stubborn, etc. No, it never tells us in this whole thing what the so-called infraction was. It must have been very minor indeed, or they would have said something. Now the paper is a big fat mess. Do you think I'm going to put it all back together again? The answer is no, I am not, because I'm in a motel room. I'm going to neatly wad it into a big ball and put it in the trash can, okay? I'm not going to just leave it laying all over the floor like some horrible customers would do. I understand and sympathize with the plight of whoever has to come and clean all these rooms. That's why I always leave them a tip, and I don't leave them a mess. I try to treat the place like as if it was my own home. Maybe even better, because I'm kind of messy sometimes in my own home anyway. This was a nice little interlude, change of pace, and so I will upload this tonight. I have shot 8 or 9 videos when I was in Oregon, and I'm going to edit and upload them over the next 2 weeks. So to give you a preview, I shot video. I have a terrible memory, so I won't remember all of what I even did. One of the videos will be on my terrible memory problem, aka symptoms of early onset Alzheimer's. That is a serious video where I depart from my normal genre, but it is still ASMR. Can you still hear those trucks out on I-5? It's the major trucking corridor for the entire West Coast, going all the way from the southern border of Mexico to the northern border of Canada. through California and Oregon and Washington State. So a lot of trucks go by. And I'm at a Marriott property that's right by that highway. So, where was I? Upcoming videos I just shot. What did I do? I did one on Pokemon trading cards. I did a doctor role play. I followed that up with a serious look at how to defend against early onset Alzheimer's associated with type 2 diabetes. I did a video on a poker magazine. I did a video on, I don't remember what else, but there were several more. So I'll get around to editing all of those and uploading them over the next week or two. All right? So if you're not a subby already, and if this is relaxing to you, please go ahead and subscribe, because I'm going to start trying to build my channel, which I was allowing to just lay fallow and neglected for a long, long time. And yes, to my former subbies, I keep making this promise to you. My subbies from my other channel, I repeat, will do a video soon on Jody Arias, an update, okay? I can actually shoot that at the place I'm staying in Sacramento, no matter how noisy it is, because I won't do it as an ASMR video. All right. Good night, everyone. Do not ASMR and drive. Sorry I went so very long, but I think that would be better if I'm putting you to sleep and soothing and relaxing you. Take care. Bye-bye. Don't ASMR and drive. I'm sorry if I said that already. Bye-bye now.